Welcome to the Poisoner's Cabinet. I'm Sinead.
And I'm Nick.
And this is your weekly podcast exploring the lives of the great poisoners, macabre murders, and captivating crimes from across the centuries, and creating curious cocktails inspired by the tales that we tell. And it's episode 252.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It is.
Yes, well into season 6 now. 2 episodes in.
2 episodes in.
Oh, yeah. How are you, Nick?
I'm fine.
You're very good.
I'm pretty fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Then that's agreed.
I'm glad.
There's nothing more to say about it.
It really is.
Any poisonings this week?
I don't believe so.
I
don't believe so. It's summer. Everyone's being jolly.
It is. It's a very jolly time.
Jolly time.
As I said, I feel very jolly now that the new moon has been.
The new moon.
Yes, that everyone was talking about. That's the uber moon of destruction, apparently, that left everyone feeling very groggy. I feel like $1 million now.
Excellent.
Woohoo! We're recording rarely in the afternoon. We have some lovely pre-cocktail beverages.
Nice afternoon fizz.
It is, yes. It's a lovely day.
Very civilized. I can be in bed by 6.
Exactly. Oh, God, my God, that's a dream.
How marvellous.
Oh, just get a few chips later and then go to bed and watch a film.
It's going to be great.
Oh, my God. Well, speaking of getting into bed really early with chips and being very happy about it, but also loving a drink, I think it's time for us to thank our delicious Patreon subscribers.
Absolutely. So continuing from our lots of people who joined us over our season break. So we must say thank you very much to Willow.
To Vicky the Craft Dragon.
To Emily Garton.
To Auntie Bats 27.
To Samantha Wing.
To Rochelle.
To Lisa.
To Doreen 85.
To the Poison for Kazuko.
To Caliconico.
I think.
We think.
Something like that. It's very complicated. To Catherine Neff.
To Jade Nicol.
To Kate Leach.
To Cindy M.
To Jackie K.
To Kathleen Sharp.
To Beth.
To Milan S.
And to Nikki Elmas.
Woo!
Thank you very, very much.
You bumper crop of very, very sexy Patreon subscribers.
I know, I've just realised. Nikki Elmas is the person who has been working on some research for me, for my episodes.
Ah, wonderful.
And she's joined our Patreon. Hello.
Oh,
Hi,
bless
Nikki.
her heart. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Nikki. We have gone a full 5 seasons, just us.
Yes.
Just us doing this. And Nikki is now helping Nick a little bit when we need some help.
Lots of research for episodes.
Yeah, she's very good.
For and very good.
Very, very
really
good.
Marvellous.
Oh, marvellous. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our delicious, sexy Patreon subscribers for joining us. We had fun on Patreon this week. We went to India, Nick, didn't we? We went to India and learned about the Thuggies.
Like a delightful cult.
Yes.
We haven't had a cult for a while.
We haven't had a cult for a while.
Something else.
And it was an interesting piece of history.
About time we did.
Yeah, dove into that.
I liked it.
It was very dark and mysterious.
Yes, and it reminded me, they're referenced in Indiana Jones as well.
Are they? Which one?
Yes, in the Temple of Doom.
Are they?
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Ah.
They talk about it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know what the hell we're talking about, please do consider joining us on patreon.com/The Poisoner's Cabinet. This is where you can support the show and get extra content from us every single week, such as extra episodes, behind-the-scenes content. We have a book club on there. There's a lovely community where you can chat. There's old videos. There's all sorts on there from just $5 a month. There is a higher tier if you want to have more behind-the-scenes content from me and Nick, including our warm-up chats, which get increasingly unhinged, and also gift packs, which we send out to our cyanide connoisseurs. It's a wonderful platform. It is completely flexible. You can join, you can quit if you need to. You can get whatever you need from us there.
It's very exciting.
It is.
You should do it.
Well, Nick, are you ready?
Oh, probably not.
But you're poised.
Poised.
Poised? To drink cocktails and talk about poison?
Yeah, probably.
Or we could drink poison and talk about cocktails.
We could do that too.
We could do that too.
I think that's more of an evening thing.
It is. What? But poison ourselves and talk about cocktails as the dying light fades.
Precisely.
Looking at the moon and going, oh, this will be the last time.
This afternoon, it's sunny and nice, and so I think this is more of a cocktail type sort of
Yes.
time.
Well, we've recorded for 5 years in the evening.
Today could have been the last one if we'd left it.
That could have been the thing that tipped us over the edge. Shall we go with the first one?
Let's do that.
Hooray, hooray, hooray. It is my story this week, and we can't possibly have a story without a cocktail in hand. As you know, dear listeners, every week we choose a secret ingredient that is inspired by the tale that we tell, and it will flavour our cocktail of the week. My story, so my pick, and this week's secret ingredient is a conspiracy. Conspiracy, Nick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I know you did go, was there anything else? You struggled.
I did.
And then I said no. And then I looked through it and went, oh, there could have been various things.
But I persisted.
You did?
I persisted and I found something.
Nice.
Yeah, so I had to go slightly off the beaten track and search the depths of the internet.
Ooh, okay, so we're going a bit rogue.
But I found something that could be interesting. Could be terrible.
Very nice. Well,
could be
with
interesting.
conspiracy as your inspiration, your ingredient, what have you come up with?
We're having a conspiracy.
Oh, a conspiracy. Oh, that's it. Oh, good. You did find one.
I did find one.
And is it a wonderful, lovely thing?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be interesting.
Interesting is a word that we like on this show.
I think so.
But we fear.
Yes. Very much fear. But also, possibly.
Okay, well, we're armed with our magnifying glasses and our big foil hats. I think it is high time for us to slink into the Poisonous Cabinet kitchen and shake up a storm. So we'll see you in a minute.
We'll see you in a bit.
And we're back.
Hello.
Nick, the
Yes.
conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
Is it a conspiracy or the conspiracy?
Or just conspiracy.
Conspiracy or just conspiracy?
Conspiracy.
Because something you shout, conspiracy,
Conspiracy.
when anyone wrongs you at work. Conspiracy. They're trying to destroy me. Lovely. Oh, it's very goldeny orangey.
It's got an orangey hue.
It's like a lovely sunset,
Yes.
which is very nice. Oh, it looks nice. We haven't had an orangey drink in a while. They can fool us though
That they can.
with their splendour.
They can be
Could it
lies.
be a conspiracy in a glass? That could be the new name for a terrible cocktail. All right. Well, it smells of things. It smells quite
does
nice.
smell of things.
Fragrant. All right. Well, there's nothing left for it but to dive in. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Okay.
wow.
Oh, it's sharp and things
That's
happened
very
in my
sharp.
mouth. Oh, what's going on there? What's going on there? Hang on a minute.
I'm thinking bad things currently.
Are you? I don't know what happened. That was an assault on the taste buds.
It's not.
Let me chase another drink. Oh, that's very... It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's one of those ones. It's actually growing on me.
Yeah, it's very citrusy, but it's all the bitterness and sharpness. It's got some spice in there. I want to say spice. Something like that. Like a harsh alcohol taste. But there is a bit of sweetness. It's not awful, but it was quite a lot.
It was quite a lot to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it
is mellowing slightly, and it's growing on me.
It's all right. It's a really bitter...
Is it quite bitter?
It's a bitter undertaste there, which is drinkable, but it's not dissipating massively.
Not loving it, I have to say.
No, it's
loving
not.
it.
It's not a world beater. Will I drink
No.
it? Will I not? I don't know. All right, so guessing.
Guessing.
Is there lime juice in
There
it?
is some lime juice in
Because
there.
I brought you limes.
'Cause I asked you to bring me
Okay,
limes.
right. So limes.
Lime.
Is there lemon in it too?
Nope, just
No,
some
just the limes. Okay. Is there Campari in this?
Nope.
Vermouth.
Nope.
All right. What's the? Is there a spice in it? Like a spicy-ish?
Not specifically.
Herbally?
No. Yes.
Is there twigs in it?
There's twigs.
Oh, fuck off. That's why it's appalling. Green or yellow?
Green.
Ew. Ew. It's a fucking green chartreuse. So orange, is there orange juice in it?
Nope.
No. It's really sharp. Really sharp. Fuck, what else is in this? What would make the colour?
There's two other things. There's one big thing.
Big thing. What,
One
base
big
spirit?
thing, yes.
Base spirit. Gin.
Nope.
Bourbon.
Nope.
Vodka.
Nope.
Rum.
Yes.
Rum. White rum?
So no, dark rum.
A dark rum. Okay.
Dark rum.
A dark rum. What's giving it that colour? Is it a juice in another kind?
No, the dark rum. Okay.
Oh, it's the dark rum. It
it's-
looks really orangey.
Dark.
Well, I
Well, then
guess.
it's been diluted with.
Yeah.
It's got some green in there, and then.
All right,
some,
so you got green chartreuse, dark rum,
Yep.
lime juice, and then one other thing.
Or,
With some sugar or
What ish?
bitters?
There's some bitters in there.
Right.
There's some Angostura bitters.
What do you mean there's one other thing-ish?
There's one of the, so it is a sugar. It is a syrup.
But is this a flavoured syrup?
It's a flavoured syrup.
Cinnamon?
No.
Honey?
No.
Twiggy?
Twig syrup, yes.
Oh, what other kind of syrups do you have? A sugary, just nibbly.
I've made my own.
You've made your own?
Yes.
I'm worried. What is that? Why the fridge is so full? I don't know why I put those two and two together. You made a brie syrup. I don't know. what have you been up to in there?
Yes.
I don't trust. Did you do it right? I mean, that's because it tastes weird. What's the syrup?
I made a syrup out of the Sainsbury's delivery man. Yes.
That would be quite nice. It's a twist on Mrs. Lovett. It's an update, isn't it? But what syrup did you make?
A tea syrup.
A tea syrup.
Tea
A
syrup.
black tea syrup.
Yes.
I ask again. Did you though do it
Yes.
right?
Well, I believe so. I did look at some instructions and I did follow them.
I don't like it. Do I taste tea now?
I
Or is it
don't.
just now you've said it? I'm like, oh, the tea. Hang on.
I don't know if that's where some of the bitterness is coming from.
Maybe.
From a black... Because it's meant to be lapsang souchong syrup.
But that's smoky.
Yes, exactly. But I did not surprisingly have any lapsang souchong.
You can't just make tea instead of lapsang souchong.
And nor could I find some at such short notice.
What? You could have gone to the supermarket. There's a tea shop in the centre of town,
Yes, but
Nick.
I can't be asked. So
You literally went into town earlier.
Yes, but I didn't think of it at that point.
You didn't look at the massive place of tea. There's two. Did you go for a haircut?
Yes.
Right, you went to Jimmy Jane's. 2 doors up, the huge tea place that's just there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So I think, where are you talking about? Yeah.
No, there was no tea for miles around.
I have not considered at that point.
And the other tea place that's on the way to your house a bit.
Yeah, well, I didn't go to either of those, all right?
So you just made fucking
So
black
I made
tea.
black tea.
Breakfast tea.
It's like PG tip syrup.
Is it PG tip
Oh, I
syrup?
can't remember. It's
Oh,
like
God, is it not even Twinings, mate?
So it's a tea
This
sort of...
is wrong. I don't want to critique you, but I will. And it's wrong. Because lapsang is such a... It's smoky. Do you remember I got you? Do you remember I got that liqueur specifically
indeed.
that time?
Yes.
I went to the effort.
And I was thinking, did I actually think, do I still have that? No, got rid of it.
No, that was like 3
Because
years
we
ago.
thought, we're never going to use this again.
We're
That's
never
mad.
going to use that again. Oh no. I can
Well-
imagine that smokiness would be lovely, but you just fucking flung a tea bag in there and hoped for the
Did I
best.
fling a tea bag in there.
Didn't you? Really?
How dare
What
you.
happened? What happened?
I put... Shut up. I just put a tea bag in a cocktail.
In some sugar. Just ground up a few bits of just white sugar lumps. Oh, bless you.
Shut up.
Well done, maybe.
Yeah, whatever.
Do you think the tea syrup was good? Did you try it?
No.
You didn't try
Well, no, I didn't. It tastes tea-ish and sweet. Tastes mainly of sugar.
Right. Good. The flavours. Well, in conclusion, this conspiracy...
Well, you can do a podcast by yourself then. I'm going away.
It is truly a conspiracy.
I'm going to go and drink my tea syrup in peace.
Pour it over some cornflakes. Fuck it. Why not?
Whenever I have a cup of tea, I'll put some tea syrup in there.
Why not? Why not, Nick? I encourage you to live your best life with this tea syrup that you are going to die on the hill of. It's not your fault. I don't blame you because you trusted the internet with this one. I don't know. Do we keep drinking it? It's not terrible.
I think it's horrendous.
It's not terrible. It's very bitter and sharp, but we have no... I want to say morals.
I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, and we could...
Or it's killing my taste buds as I go. I don't know.
I don't think I'd recommend anyone make it.
No.
I think we can suffer through it. We have fizz as well.
How
I have to read
brave,
words.
How brave you are.
Brave. I know. Don't... Every time you make one and I don't like it, it's like I've stabbed you in the heart.
Personally mortally wounded.
It's not the tea syrup's fault, Nick. It's the green chartreuse, clearly. Blame the green chartreuse. It has got...
I don't know why I do it. Waste chartreuse on you every time.
Every time. You have tried green chartreuse on me in the past and you have snuck it by in a decent cocktail and I've enjoyed it. But this is an assault on the taste buds. I'm over salivating now, actually, because my mouth is trying to wash the
and
taste.
expectation of the next mouthful. Okay, I just can't wait for that.
Can't wait. I'm like Pavlov's
it's gonna
dog.
be good, exactly. So that's what that is. I think you'll find.
Okay. Well, feelings were had about the conspiracy. It is like a conspiracy because we're arguing. No, you just don't understand.
Exactly.
You don't have the vision.
You just don't understand
You need a vision. I'm begging you to get more resources. And you're like, no, I can do it. Lovely. Well, with conspiracy in hand, nearby, tucked under our little foil hats. Are you ready for a story, Nick? Yeah. Are you sure? Have you recovered from the barbs, the slings and arrows?
Get on with it.
Okay, good. Conspiracy indeed. We don't dabble in them a lot on the main episode, and there's certainly room for us to do so. We talk about them on Patreon. We have a lot of fun with them on PC Morris, and there's a few that we've dealt with. But this week, we have the story of a very, very famous conspiracy from a long time ago.
Okay.
We must head back to the 15th century to Italy.
Okay.
for the Pazzi Conspiracy.
Oh, very good.
Requested many times.
Yes, many people talk about this.
Many
absolutely.
people. And it was again one of those where I was like, is there much to it? And then I realised
Quite a
I
lot.
had a bunch of resources, but actually the detailed account of what happens is wonderful. I think we'll all enjoy it. So it means also we get to revisit our dear old friends, the Medicis.
Oh, how delightful.
Medicis, however you want to say it. I will be saying it in a variety of ways.
Yeah, exactly. It'll depend on the day.
Through this episode. Love the Medicis. Huge family. Big, famous. And you know the deal. When we go back this far, it's the Renaissance. It's an excuse to shove a few random facts and fun stories in there as well. Because why not? It's all connected. It's all connected to the main tale. It's not just something I found. It adds to the richness, the seasoning of the stories, as it were. We previously talked about Catherine de Medici, and we could do more on her, I feel, in the future, because we sort of did an overview of her life, but she has fingers in many pies in many families. That sounds wrong, but she did. Obviously, we talked about Pope Leo X, and he of the poisoned arse fame. And they pop up in stories about the Borgias and French kings and Italy in general. If you mention Italy, they go, Medici. If you didn't know the background of the Medicis, they were one of the most famous, if not the most powerful families in Renaissance Italy. You have the Borgias, you have the Sforzas, you have the Estes, the Orsinis. The Medicis, though, were known later as the Grand Dukes of Florence. Florence, we remember, is a republic at this time. It is separate. It is like Italy has different kinds of republics in different areas, and they control Florence. They start to control Florence. They would become the Grand Dukes of Florence over the centuries. They produced 4 popes, 2 queens, and they were involved in lots of Godfather succession-esque like ploys for power and domination.
Delightful.
Great family. I shall also point out now that a lot of names are repeated over the centuries. So when you're doing a deep dive, you think you know one Lorenzo or one Cosimo, and it's like, no, there were 9 of them.
There were 9 of those.
So make sure you're in the right area. That one rumour is that they were descended from Perseus.
Were they? It's very possible.
Very possible Perseus, who wasn't real. Maybe. Or people would have it. Or from Charlemagne himself.
Also possible.
Or one of Charlemagne's knights. Or
Yep.
from the giant that the knights defeated. Before he was defeated, he had children, and then the Medicis. I don't know.
Let's go with any one of those possibilities.
Everyone spins the tale. The important thing is about them is, what do you think is the most important thing about the Medici family? Why were they powerful? How did they rise? Huh?
Big hats.
Big hats.
Big
They
hats.
Actually, they did love a feather in the hat.
Love a big
They would
feathers.
wear, one of them would wear 3 feathers.
See, that's fancy.
Beautiful plumage.
Yeah, beautiful plumage.
But what's the other thing that they had?
Money.
Money. Because they had a bank.
Banks are always good for making money.
They were bankers. They had a bank. They founded the Medici Bank in Florence in 1397. And that little bank with dreams grew and grew and grew with branches all over the country. They would end up managing the papal treasury. It would become the biggest bank in Europe. They introduced lots of handy bookkeeping systems.
Who doesn't love a handy bookkeeping system?
Oh, their bookkeeping systems, they were many, and they were terribly, terribly sexy. Letters of credit, that was them. Sexy. Medici's, again, very famous. Another thing they're very famous for. Very big patrons.
Of the arts?
Of the arts. Basically funded the Renaissance in terms of art. Or the Renaissance, depending how you want to say it.
They liked an art.
They did. They are responsible, and it is absolutely true, they are responsible for bringing some of the most incredible and famous works of art to the world during the Renaissance period. Funded the works of Da Vinci. They funded all of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
You all right?
You bloody unplugged my laptop.
Did
didn't
I?
you?
Oh, I thought, well, do you want me to do it? Hang on a second. Oh, that was a funny joke as well.
Oh, was it? I don't know. Say
Right,
something.
back to that joke. They funded the works of Da Vinci.
Really? Ha 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 ha!
That wasn't the joke. Wait, you'll know when the joke
I'll
lands
know the
because
joke
your
is.
sides will split.
Because it'll be funny.
Funded all the work of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was a small joke and it was important. Right, name them all. Go on.
What? Donatello,
Yeah.
Leonardo,
Yeah.
Raphael,
Yeah.
and Michelangelo.
Yeah, there we go. Well done.
Okay.
Well, all of them, they funded their work.
And pizza.
And pizza. They invented pizza. The thing is,
And a rat.
and the rat. What was his name?
can't
Scar.
remember.
No, not
No.
Scar. That's fucking the villain from Lion King.
Yeah, that's a
Was it begin with S?
It was Master. He's Master something, isn't he?
Master Ratty.
Master Ratty.
Master Ratty, like
You had
Winnie the
Shredder.
Willows.
He was the villain.
Shredder was the villain. Oh, that's why I'm thinking Shredder. What's his name?
It's Mr. Rat. I can't remember.
Mr. Rat. Well, he was funded by the Medicis. They laid the groundwork. Said many years from now, a rat will command some turtles, and pizza will be had. What?
What's going on? there?
Why are they drunk all the time? But yes, all of the great artists, Machiavelli, Galileo, again, they were patrons of them. It means basically the Medicis are credited as being responsible for some of the great works of art, for David, the statue of David, for the Sistine Chapel. They obviously funded the Uffizi Gallery, which is now a gallery. It was their offices in Florence. They contributed to St. Peter's Basilica and the cathedral in Florence, the Duomo. You know, they enabled Brunelleschi to keep building because of their money. And they were very passionate about investing in the arts. They saw that as very, very important. It does curry favour with the people, and it's a big flex. It's a big flex as in we have so much money and we are going to fund the most beautiful things in the world, and we are going to fund this way of life and this celebration. So, yeah, and they could do that. They could afford to do it. All the other patrons, then there were many on the other families. They're like, well, we did it too.
Yes, exactly. We built a small church. I built a shed.
We built a shed. We also gave Da Vinci money. Well, he doesn't mention it a lot. Da Vinci was actually quite bitter. I'll come on to that. Biggest flex, I think, that you will appreciate as well. Do you know what else they did in Florence? Which is one of my favourite things that you can still see today, is the Medicis had, obviously, the Palazzo Pitti and the Uffizi where they worked. So they lived, worked, two things. They created walkways, so they never had to walk out in public.
Brilliant.
And that's what the Ponte Vecchio is. You obviously have lots of workshops and shops on the Ponte Vecchio, and that would have been like really high up. But there is a covered corridor alongside the bridge. If you look in Florence as well, you look on the side of the buildings, there are these built-in just little oblong corridors, so the Medicis never had to walk out in public.
They had to mingle with the common folk.
Never had to mingle in public. They would just go like, this is our private little, like, probably they were just string quartets every 5 steps.
Someone
playing.
painting in front of
Someone painting. Michelangelo was like, another David? Seriously? Okay, fine. So they did that, which is very nice.
Nice.
Other fun facts. The things they invented, they are credited as inventing due to money. Gelato.
Okay.
Gelato had been around in different forms before, but one chef is credited because he made it for a banquet for Catherine de Medici. So this is a fair few years later. She paid for it and she took it to Paris. Melted, I feel. But yeah, he came up with the creation. There was another chef who had there was actually an architect who'd perfected ice storage. And then when he was doing that, he was like, well, put some lemon and sugar in there and like sorbet. And yeah, but the Medici's like, yes, we'll give you money for it. We invented it. The piano. They funded that. This is from the Met, the Metropolitan Opera House. It has an article on there saying the first true piano was invented by Bartolomeo Cristofori of Padua, who had been appointed in 1688 to the Florentine court of the Grand Prince Ferdinando de' Medici to care for his harpsichords. I'm assuming build them, not just stroke them and make sure they got a good night's sleep. And he made a harpsichord, and it was called Harpsichord with Soft and Loud.
Nice.
Pianoforte. So yeah, they are credited as funding that work.
The development of the piano.
There you are. Various other things. But the main thing about it, as we said, is their banking, which made them incredibly powerful, equivalent of billionaires. And what do billionaires love? Power. Power, they do. Their family will rise to power, then fall down a bit, and then they will go back up again over time. It's not just a constant growth of power. They will dip and build, but they have enough money to back them. And that's going to lead to animosity.
Well, it would, yes, indeed.
From some other families, and even plots to kill.
Surely not.
Surely not. So to the Pazzi Conspiracy. I should say now, if anyone thinks that is linked to the word you have a patsy in a crime, no, completely different thing. No. But Pazzi name, not so great in Italy till now. For this story, I do need to explain where we are in the family tree. Drink break. Did you fucking down that?
No.
How did you drink that so fast?
Don't know what you mean.
You crack on, because this is going to get fun. So, the Pazzi Conspiracy takes place ultimately in April 1478, and it centers around Lorenzo de' Medici, known as Lorenzo the Magnificent.
Fancy.
Yes, not so fancy actually.
Oh.
Yeah, well, the Magnificent is a title that is given to noble people. So it's not that later on he was called the Magnificent in a kind of a Roman emperor kind of way. It was
Yeah.
just like, he's the Magnificent. Has he done anything? No, he's rich.
No, not really.
Rich,
He's just got cash.
We previously mocked Lorenzo's title in, I think, the episode about popes we talked about as Magnificent and other titles that he had. His son, his heir, we mentioned before, was Piero the Unfortunate and was unfortunate in all his deeds. But there's more stupid names coming up, so trust me. So Lorenzo is the son of Piero di Cosimo de Medici. See, a lot of name repetition here.
Yeah.
And he is the grandson of Cosimo de Medici. And Cosimo is the big daddy of the family. He is the guy who establishes the family as the rulers of Florence. There have been others before him, but he has done all the work. Not officially noble. Not at all, but he is the head of the bank. He uses his money to essentially buy power in Florence, make strategic marriages. He makes sure that the Medici are calling the shots behind the scenes. He buys his way into politics, we would call it, into power, to move things and to make sure that they are ahead of the game, that they are invested in everything that's happening in Florence. He invested heavily in the arts himself, in the architecture of the city, and that will curry favour, as I said, with a lot of people and be a big flex. His son, Piero de' Medici, will have the title Piero the Gouty.
Nice.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
The Gouty. What a lovely, lovely name.
Literally called the Gouty, and he wasn't an unintelligent man. He worked hard, and when he inherits the sort of title as the head of the family, he is smart. He did not look well. Because, yes, he had gout and various things wrong with him. Apparently, he was incredibly swollen, with droopy eyes, looked sleepy, but a sharp mind. A sharp mind. Everyone was like, they didn't call him the sharp. They called him very much the gouty. Gross. He only had 4 years as the head of the family, and he inherits a little bit of a financial mess. The bank is sort of tipping downscale at this point. He decides he's going to call in a lot of the loans that they've given out to, those would be to nobles, those would be to families across Italy. But because he's thinking, okay, the bank is not doing well, we're calling in the loans, and that doesn't make anyone happy, but they're entitled to do that. But it makes some enemies along the way. And he tries to shore up the family's power in the city. But given that he's swollen and dying and gross, most people are going, well, we need to look to his successor. And we look to his eldest son, Lorenzo, the next leader. Lorenzo, born in 1449. Lorenzo was said to be very clever. So he had a good education when he was younger, very clever, groomed to take over the family. The trouble with Lorenzo is that for all his smarts, he's not really a looker. And that is commented a lot at the time. It's important. He was said to have a broad frame and short legs.
Okay.
Of average height, long dark hair, long dark hair actually, a long yet squashed nose.
Oh, a long and squashed.
Long and
Not
squashed.
a great combination.
Yeah, and a voice that is both high pitched and harsh.
Okay.
So they're kind of like, is it the nose flat and
Quite
makes it
nasally
nasal?
sort of.
Nasal. No one wants to hear him sing.
Yeah.
No one wants him to sweet talk him. And yeah, so he's not a looker. He has this quite harsh look. And people going, there's a lot of sort of passages about him where people are really trying to work around this, going, he's not unattractive, but he's not, The problem is that his brother, Giuliano, is gorgeous. Golden boy. He's the poster boy. And Lorenzo will kind of use that. They will think, okay, we'll use this in future. Lorenzo, though, himself, loved sport. Wasn't good at it. Was not good at it. Very competitive,
Enthusiastic,
though. Enthusiastic, very competitive.
Enthusiastically,
yeah, his dad had to rig a lot of jousting matches and a lot of games so he would win, because if he lost, he would kick the fuck off. So, yeah, loved staging tournaments. And when he got older and he is rising into power, and when his father passes, he is staging tournaments and games for the public. That's what he loves. Incredibly lavish, huge party. When he marries, he has this very extravagant wedding, and he loves wearing extravagant clothes. He loves looking bling. He loves being the part, like acting the part of it. He's a very big patron of the arts as well. He was the patron of young Michelangelo. He met Michelangelo when he was a student, critiqued one of his sculptures. But I think he was working as a student. He went, that's very good, but it needs to have more of the thing over there. And Mark said, okay, fine. He was, oh, that's wonderful. Come and live in my palace. Come and live in my palace. And he's going, are we going to kiss while we're there, maybe? Maybe. A lot of these stories where it's like, and he invited this young artistic man to live with him for a while. At the time, obviously, artists would be in residence at the palace, but he paid for his education and his work, and he would actually Michelangelo would have a long-standing relationship with the Medici family. 4 years would lead to some of his greatest works. His contemporary, though, was, of course, Leonardo da Vinci, and da Vinci did not get as much from the Medicis, but he was a bit bitter. He was a bit bitter about it.
Poor him.
Yeah, Da Vinci with all of his stuff. He's like constantly trying to make things going, will you love me now, daddy?
I made you a helicopter, come on.
I made you a huge war machine. What the fuck did Michelangelo do? Oh, it was a big guy with a dick. Oh, a chapel.
Made you a big weird sex wheel thing.
I can make you a sex wheel. I made one. Look. So, when Lorenzo is taking on the rule of the family, he becomes the head of the bank at age 20. Which is old for the time.
Old for the time,
he's
yes,
fine,
indeed.
He's fine.
Yes.
But he, like his dad, has inherited a bad state of affairs. The bank is not doing so great. No. And Lorenzo's lot is a bit worse. And Lorenzo's kind of burning through the money. He's not, for all his intelligence, that good at banking. He's not that interested in it. Some people have him, and history would write for years later that Lorenzo the Magnificent only looked at his good points, like a prince of Florence, and would pave the way for the rise of the Medicis. But actually at this period, other historians have written that, no, he's a bit he didn't do well at his job. He's not completely stupid. He's intelligent. He just wasn't a good banker.
Yeah.
And let's all just admit this. Let's just all admit that he wasn't doing so well. He wanted to fund his lavish lifestyle.
Well, who doesn't?
He didn't really care about banking. He wanted to borrow money. He starts borrowing money from other places. And he holds grudges as well about anyone else around. But as I said, he's got Giuliano, his brother, who's the pretty boy, the face of the Medicis. It's a nice kind of PR thing. They still have plenty of power, but other families are getting annoyed at them. There's enough gripes and enough grievances, and there are many that I could have included in this story, but it would have been 60 pages long. Various things and laws that the Medicis would have passed that affected different big families, that affected entire towns, terrible things that happened while they were mining for different things like alum. They did terrible things to different towns, and people who lived there were like, what the fuck?
Well,
you know, like,
not entirely fair.
This was awful. There's so many grievances that build up and build up and build up, and it comes to a head with this three-way row between the Medicis, Pope Sixtus IV, and the Pazzi family.
Okay.
So the Pazzi family, powerful, rich, another banking family, and they hate the Medicis. Outwardly friendly, nice.
Of course.
I love you. Yeah. But Pazzi was married to Lorenzo's sister in a strategic move to kind of go like, oh, let's be nice to each other. Behind the scenes, oh my God, we hate you. Stop taking our cash. Because everyone's trying to have, their share of the market, and they feel the Medicis are sort of, controlling too much of the market. Pope Sixtus IV, hereby known as either Sixtus or the Pope. I'm not going to do the full name. The Pope is there. The Pope is there. Has risen to his position. He was from a very poor family. When he became Pope, he just handed out titles to all of his friends and family.
Nice.
All of them. Doesn't matter if you've been ordained or if you're suitable for the job. Have a go.
Come on in.
Particularly favours his nephew, Girolamo Riario, who may have been his son.
Oh, okay.
He says he was a nephew, but some people don't. I think he was his son.
Really? A bit too interested.
A little bit. So the Pope tells Riario that to go and buy the town of Imola.
Let's go buy a town.
Go buy a town for me. They could do that. They could do that. Well,
You're the Pope. You know what you like.
He's the Pope. He wants to establish a new papal state there, and he wants to take control of it. Very nice place. Very nice. I've looked briefly on the internet. I think things happen there. I don't know what happens now. Sports, maybe. And, yep, great. We're going to buy the town. Sixtus, the Pope asked the Medicis for money to buy the town. Lend me the money. I shall buy that place. Lorenzo's like, fuck you. You know very well that we wanted that town. We wanted that town. And the Medicis had offered to buy the town from the Duke of Milan, one of the Sforza family, and they had offered 100,000 ducats.
A lot of ducats.
For the town. But Sforza had snubbed them, or had entertained conversations, but then had gone off to the Pope and said, I'll sell it to you for 40,000.
Ooh.
And also an arranged marriage. Can your nephew marry this random girl that we have? Yes, good. She's related to us. That would be nice.
Imagine she would be
not
related,
just a random girl. We'd like that
somehow,
for you.
Yes.
And So they know this has happened, and the Pope asking the Medicis for money to buy a town that they wanted and they can't access is
But less
really
than half the price that they had offered for it.
exactly.
That's kind of smart.
This is a big V sign for them, and Lorenzo is just flicking V signs for 20 minutes solid, and he says no, he's not, and the Pope is incredibly pissed off. Why wouldn't you lend me the money? How dare you? So he goes to the Pazzi family for the loan, for the money, and they oblige, and a new friendship is formed. Furthermore, the Pope removes the papal accounts from the Medici family and gives them to the Pazzis. So that's a big account. That's a big account that's moved over. As I said, there's various things that have moved around the scenes. The Pazzis are no fans of the Medicis, not only because of their business rivalry, but there's also been laws, and it's quite complex, but the Medicis passed an inheritance law that negatively affected the Pazzis. So they were pissed off, thinking, you've deliberately done this to screw this family member out of inheriting this, blah, 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 blah. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. They definitely
did.
So everyone's pretty pissed off. The bitterness is growing. They're growing and growing. Also, the Pope appoints a Pazzi as an archbishop. When the Medicis needed to approve it, they are really annoyed. And the Pope's starting to make it known in a very roundabout way that he would rather the Medicis were not in control of Florence. He is not happy about it.
Okay.
And his nephew, Riario, gets wind of this. And he starts to think, maybe we help things along here. And so he begins to plot. He begins to plot with Francesco Salviati, the new Archbishop of Pisa, the one that the Medicis weren't happy about, and Francesco di Pazzi, the manager of the Pazzi Bank in Rome. And then you have Riario, who's the Pope's nephew. They're going to get rid of the Medicis. Get rid of Lorenzo. Florentines hate them. They hate them. They don't like them. They'll be on our side.
Absolutely.
They're going to side with us. So Francesco di Pazzi reaches out to a mercenary named Montesecco. And that's the name that inspired me to buy Prosecco before I came over. I've been writing the name Montesecco all day, and I was like, I really want some Prosecco, oddly.
What's going on there?
And Nick is enjoying it right now. And I said that as you were taking a mouthful. There we are. Montesecco. You can picture Montesecco. I mean, I don't actually know how he looked, but picture him like rough, ready, skilled mercenary. He can command people around him.
Squashing grapes in one hand.
Grapes if you're lucky. And they hire him and said, we want you on board. We want you on board. Get rid of the Medicis. He's like, okay, I see your point, but I want the Pope's approval for this.
Yeah.
We need to have something more solid than the big families fucking fighting with each other. If the Pope says do it, we got it.
Yeah, well then God said do it, so yeah, absolutely, crack on.
So they all trundle off to speak to the Pope, Montesecco going with him. And they sit with the Pope, and Sixtus does this brilliant series of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And what he says allegedly, now this is from the great book, The Rise and Falls of the Medicis by Christopher Hibbert. Brilliant, brilliant book. I urge people to read it. But according to this book, the Pope says, I do not wish the death of anyone on any account, since it does not accord with our office to consent to such a thing. Though Lorenzo is a villain and behaves ill towards us, yet we do not want on any account desire his death, but only a change in the government. So his nephew says, all that we can do shall be done to see that Lorenzo does not die. But should he die, will your holiness pardon him who did it? Pope replies, you are an oaf. I tell you, I do not want anyone killed, just a change in the government. And I repeat to you that I strongly desire this change, and that Lorenzo, who is a villain and a bad word that has sort of been lost in translation, does not esteem us. Once he is out of Florence, we could do whatever we like with the Republic, and that would be very pleasing to us. Absolutely no bloodshed, but wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
It'll be quite handy.
Riario's like, I got you. Leaves the room. Comes back in. Sorry, do you want us to kill him? Is that it? Just shut up and go. It's fine. So yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The Pope has gone, No, I'm not I'm definitely not saying that. Nod, nod, nod. They have what they deem to be the papal seal of approval-ish. And I think that's time for a drink.
Oh, God, yes.
Nick, we have our drinks.
We do.
We do. So, the Pazzis And Riario and the Pope's nephew start to put their plan into action. They believe the Pope has given them enough of a nod and a wink and a nudge to do it. Montesecco is like, okay, fine, I'll take that. He starts gathering men and forces to take on the coup when it happens. What they need to do is they need to take out Lorenzo, but then they also need forces outside to take out the guards and rally up the people of Florence of like, right, okay, we're going to overtake. Because it's not a small thing. You need to rally
you get
the
the
people.
population behind you.
Absolutely. And they believe the population are waiting for this to happen. The team go to the head of the Pazzi family. So you've got Francesco, but the head of the Pazzi family, Giacobbe, they need his approval. And he at first says, no. What? No, bad idea, absolutely. I don't want to hear any more about it. He says, I do not want to hear any more about this. But at this meeting, Montesecco says, but the Pope is on board. The Pope says it's fine.
Can't argue with the Pope.
And so the head of the Pazzi family says, okay, you do what you do, but you've got to take out Giuliano as well. It's not just Lorenzo. It has to be both brothers. Those two need to go. They are the power there. That's the deal. They must die together. And you've got one shot at this.
Yep.
This isn't like The Godfather where you can go and like stab someone in one room and stab someone in the other. It's got to be done instantly because word will spread. It's got to be done. So yeah, so there's precision timing is what makes this so juicy. So the plot begins. Okay,
everyone synchronized watches.
Everyone go and go. Stabby. First, the plan is they're going to have Francesco Pazzi and they're going to have Montesecco and assassins, the people behind them, kill the brothers in public where they can get to both of them. And they're going to do it at a banquet. There's a new cardinal coming into Florence. There's going to be a big banquet for them. They've all been invited. Brilliant. Everyone arrives. Francesco Pazzi is there. And they're all like sitting there. Sneaky. There's Lorenzo. Canapes, Lorenzo. There we are. Would you like this tray of daggers? Wait a minute. Where's your brother? Oh, my brother. Oh, he's sick. He's sick. He's not well. Yeah, Giuliani's sick. He's got a bad leg. Sciatica's playing up. I shit you not, it was sciatica.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just put this dagger away.
He can't come?
Yep, and this mace and this sword made of wolves. It's fine. Shit. All right, okay, we've screwed this one up. We'll wait for the next event. They don't have infinite number of events because you can imagine there's plenty of people involved. Whispers will start. They have a very finite amount of time that they can do this. There follows now a couple more attempts by the Pazzi crew to get to the brothers, more public events, and every single time Giuliano is sick. He is not well. He keeps being sick. He's got terrible leg problems. They invite themselves to see some treasure at the Medici family. The Pazzi's like, we would love to see your treasure. We'd love to come along with all of these people with knives. And Lorenzo's like, okay, great. We'll organise a banquet. Come in.
Lovely to see you.
It's great. The Pazzi's there. Sneaky canapes. Oh, he's sick again with a dodgy eye. For fuck's sake. Fine, we'll leave. No, we don't want to see the treasure. We'll just go out the back. It's fine. Like, odd people. This is taking too long. They're like, okay, we have to get the brothers together. How can we do this if he's sick? Where can they not be apart? Where will they both definitely turn up? They can strike the brothers in the cathedral, in church.
Ooh, that is sneaky.
That is sneaky and bold. At the Cathedral of Florence, they are coming up to Easter. There's High Mass. They're going to do it on the 26th of April, 1478. The Pazzis are on board, right? Okay, so they're like, Francesco Pazzi, you're going to kill Lorenzo, and Montesecco, you're gonna get brother, you're gonna get Giacomo. Montesecco's, no, I'm out. It's bad enough that I have committed to killing these guys. Sacrilege?
Doing it in the church?
No, absolutely not. They kind of needed him because he was a good guy. He was a strong man, but he's out. So instead, the Pazzis hired two priests who are bitter.
Two bitter priests.
Okay. Two bitter priests. They have links to the Medicis again. They're from a town that the Medicis kind of ransacked at one point, or had ransacked in their quest for power. And the priests are like, oh, we hate them. Oh, we don't like it.
Strangle them with a rosary.
Pretty much. The Pazzis are like, yep, great, go, you'll do. So
drown them in the font.
So they say, okay, we're at the cathedral. The brothers will be at the front, and we're going to wait for communion and the sanctuary bell. When the bell rings, that is the sign to act. Everyone go. You strike. The assassins are hiding in the shadows. The priests are going to be hiding in the shadows of the cathedral. On the day, people die. It's packed full of people.
A lot of people at Easter.
And it's huge. It's huge as well. And they're all standing as well. So everyone is milling around. And sort of you got the front and the back. And Lorenzo is at the front with various people from, who are sympathetic to the Medicis, his guards, other people, chatting away. You have the archbishop, one of the archbishops, who's standing going, hello, okay, I like, yeah, hello. Cardinals are on the other side. Francesco de Pazzi is getting ready. Okay, it's fine. We've got the two priests at the front with Lorenzo, and I'm gonna get Giuliano. It's like, where the fuck is Giuliano? Why isn't he here? He's still a bit ill. Right, fine, I'll get him myself. He does. Pazzi and his crony, Baroncelli, or it could be Baroncelli. Baroncelli run to the Medici Palace, and they sort of basically stumble into the bedroom of Giuliano, who's in bed, like, hello, and they're like, hi, what's up? Like, you're not coming to Mass? It's great.
We missed you.
Yeah, we really miss you. You don't want to come? And he's like, well, my leg still hurts, and I've got this eye infection. I don't think I'm really up for it. Like, really? Do you not want to just try and come to it? They sit on his bed, chatting away, going, it's not going to be the same without you. There's just the homily's going to pop off. It's absolutely going to be sweet. And he goes, okay.
Yes, that sermon's not to be missed.
No, it's not. And they've got a race against time because they know the bell's going to ring at some point and communion's going to happen. So he goes, okay, I'll come. Woo, yay. And they walk limping.
Don't you get dressed? Don't worry about that.
No, don't worry about it. It's fine. Just let it all hang out, mate. It's absolutely fine. Giuliano's like, he's limping because he's sore and everything. And they're walking down the street. Before they go into the cathedral, Francesco de Pazzi just throws his arms around and goes, oh, mate, oh, put on a few pounds, haven't you? You've gotten a bit fat. He's checking him for armour. He's checking him, see if he's got a sword or put on any armour. And he's just there in the street going, oh, you big tubby man, you've put on a few pounds. And he's like, stop doing that. I'm like, okay, this is weird. And like, okay, fine. Patsy's like, right, he's here. Fucking shove him into the cathedral. They have minutes to spare. And they enter the church. Lorenzo is at the front, surrounded by friends. The sacristy bell sounds. And that is the cue. So you have a split scene here, front and back. At the back of the cathedral, Pazzi, Giuliano, and Baroncelli walk in. They are behind them, and they hear the bell. And Baroncelli cries out, take that, traitor. And he and Pazzi rain down blows on Giuliano.
No.
They rain down blows on him with their daggers. They stab him a total of 19 times. It is a frenzied attack that practically splits his skull in two. They stab him in the skull and it enters his head. Francesco Pazzi keeps stabbing him when he's dead. He is just over and over again. He stabs him so many times in this frenzied attack, he stabs his own thigh.
Okay.
Struggling and doing that. I stabbed myself and he's getting up like, shit.
In the enthusiasm.
So he's limping along. Giuliano's dead. He's dead.
Definitely
dead.
But he fought back. He stabbed me in the thigh.
He stabbed me in the thigh. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
definitely. It's him fighting back. Yeah.
I was defending all these ladies and he stabbed me in the thigh. So he is dead. They look to the front across the crowd. At the front, Lorenzo cannot hear what's happening. They can probably hear a commotion, but can't really hear it. And at the sound of the bell, he has his head bowed. He has his head bowed, and that's why they waited for that timing so they could get him in the back. But these two priests, they're not as smart as Montesecco would have been, who would have just gone immediately. The two priests come forward, and one of them puts his hand on Lorenzo's shoulder. People think to steady him, to do something like that, but they put in hand. It's enough that Lorenzo flinches and turns. Yeah. And when he turns, the guys try to stab him, and he gets him in the shoulder. But it's enough that he turns, grabs his sword and starts fighting back against the priests. They haven't struck him down. One of his crew leaps forward and tries to attack the priests as well, while Lorenzo starts to leap over, like there's the barrier in front of the altar, and he is heading towards the sacristy room, which is secure. Pazzi and Baroncelli are running for him. A man who's part of the Medici bank throws himself in their path and fights them and ends up being killed. But it's enough time for Lorenzo to get into this room behind the sacristy, and his crew come in, some of his guards come in, and they're heavy brass doors, and they shut them.
It seems a lot to leave it to two priests. Yeah, that seems a bold choice. Probably not the most worldly when it comes to combat.
They talked a good talk. They talked a good talk. Lorenzo has now sealed himself into this room. One of his guards apparently jumps on him and like gets the wound and starts sucking the wound to remove any poison.
Oh, right.
Because they thought maybe the daggers or the swords have poison on them. Clever man. We don't get a lot of sucking of the wound for poison.
No, we don't.
Yeah. It could be just a kiss. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, please kiss me.
Yes, it's like, oh no, my lord, let me suck out the poison. Get stabbed anywhere else.
Stabbed anywhere else, let me pat you down. Let me just pat you down. I'm fine. No, carry on. It's all right. The cathedral is in chaos and empties. The guards are able to see. They're able to see when the coast is clear, and they take Lorenzo out and they shield him from the sight of his brother's mutilated body that lies in the cathedral in a puddle of blood. Lorenzo returns to the palace. He comes out later to speak to the crowds assembled in front, saying that he is going to fight the conspirators, and they're all cheering for him. Now, Archbishop Salviati, you mentioned before, he's the one who's taken over the responsibility of bringing in the mercenaries, to bring in the troops, to battle the people of Florence and to put down the guards and rally up the people of Florence to rise up against them. And he's marched in all ready to get stuck in. He marches on the Palazzo di Signoria, and the guards don't listen to him, nor do the people. Apparently, he first rides in and demands an audience with the city's banner holder. It's a position called the banner holder. I can't pronounce it in Italian, but this man, Petrucci, important position, and he's sort of in charge of things. And he walks in going, I have a message for him from the Pope. And Petrucci's like, we're having dinner, so can you wait? And leaves.
I'm a busy man.
And
I'm polishing my banner.
The Archbishop is not a warrior man. He's just sweating, pale, stumbling. And then they're like, yep, come in. And he's like, well, the Pope said the Medici rule must end. And then look at him and go,
okay.
Yeah, guards. And the Archbishop runs, but in the place that they've come into, they seal the rooms and like, yeah, we can just close the doors here. So you've just walked into a trap, and outside all of our guards are going to kill all your mercenaries, which they do. Yeah. They absolutely put down the mercenaries, and the people in the streets are furious. Yes. They are not rising up against the Medicis. They are going, no, this is awful. They are walking around going, long live the bulls. Long live the bulls. When the mercenaries are trying to start a chant of like, yeah, it's freedom. They're like, no.
We're good.
We're absolutely fine with them. The armed guards slaughter the mercenaries. Heads are cut off and placed on lances and swords and waved around the place.
Marvellous.
Petrucci fights off the Archbishop with a roasting spit from dinner, apparently, like gets him in a corner. What will happen is Archbishop Salviati has a rope tied around his neck. He's taken to the top of the palace and he is hurled out of a window to dangle over the Palazzo di Signoria. And this is what will happen to everyone else, the famous image of what happens to the Pazzi conspirators. Francesco de Pazzi was taken, stripped naked, and was also tied by a rope and hurled out of the window next to the Archbishop. And apparently the Archbishop at one point fixed his teeth on Pazzi's naked body as he writhed on the spot.
Okay.
It's a very weird, strange image. There is rioting in the street. The two priests who attacked Lorenzo were caught. They were castrated. One was hanged and one was beheaded. Montesecco was caught. He didn't take part in the actual murders, but he was part of the conspiracy.
Part of the plot.
He was tortured, pointiness, shared the details, and then was beheaded. Okay. Baroncelli ran all the way to Istanbul. Was
That's
Constantinople.
Quite a run.
Yeah, not in one day.
Non-stop, just legged it.
But he eventually was brought back to Florence, apparently in local dress as well. Still like, I'm not who you say I am. And he was beheaded. The most indignity, I think, was saved for the head of the Pazzi family, Jacobi. He was the head of the family. While he hadn't taken part,
he knew what was going on.
People feel, okay, you are the mastermind of this family. Yeah. Your family have done this. We will teach you a lesson. Now, he has the same treatment. Apparently, he tries to run and he boxed his ears and fell on the floor crying before running. That's not going to help you.
No.
But he is brought back. Same thing. Stripped naked, rope around the neck, thrown from the window to hang next to the conspirators. He was buried. His body was taken down and buried in Santa Croce. But then his body was dug up by some locals who felt that there was heavy rain and it was his spirit causing it. So they dug up his body and they threw it in a ditch in an orchard. Then it was picked up by various people, paraded through the streets with people shouting, "Make way for the great knight." His head fell off at one point and it was used as a door knocker at the Pazzi Palace.
Delightful.
So they just banged on the door going, "Your master wants to come in." And everyone inside. And then they got bored and then they threw his head and his body into the Arno. And then that was pulled out by some kids who thought, well, we've nothing else to do, so we'll hang up the body on this tree and then we'll just hit it with sticks until we're bored.
That's what you do when you're kids.
Yeah, and then they threw it in the river again. And they just were like, yeah. So his body got a rough ride.
Yeah, not a particularly dignified end.
I don't know what period of time this was over, but many people just had fun with the Pazzi corpse. The Pazzis were banished from Florence. Their lands were confiscated. Their name and their coat of arms was suppressed, and anything bearing their name was renamed in the city. The repercussions from this would be many and lengthy and involve many wars. Sixtus did excommunicate Lorenzo and the Medici family, put restrictions on Florence from the papal seat. Basically, you cannot have mass, you cannot do any of these things. It would lead to a war between Florence and Naples, and Lorenzo would fight to defend his position and his family name. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Or maybe not for another time, because it's very wary and
Very worried.
But that is the story of the Pazzi Conspiracy.
Nice.
As previously mentioned, Lorenzo died in 1492, and apparently the Duomo was struck by lightning, lions went crazy, and ghosts turned up.
Excellent.
Yay.
Oh, that's happening when I die.
Yeah, I'd like that. There you go. Good old conspiracy.
Who doesn't love a conspiracy?
The Pazzis.
Yes. Didn't quite go so well for them.
Not so much. They'd planned it. They'd planned it.
They planned it.
Badly.
But, yeah, not well,
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
They got ahead of themselves because there were other conspiracies and plots that had gone well. Maybe they were thinking Julius Caesar, being inspired by that.
Yeah, that was a long time prior.
I know, but still, they were like, well, I worked for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they'd had the right people involved.
Well, yeah, I still think leaving your main task of the main brother there to two priests that's a long shot.
It's a bold move.
It's also a strike of desperation, really.
Yeah. To murder people. Is it like you would want Lorenzo to be killed by your best man?
Yeah, exactly. You want your best man up front, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But maybe if Giuliano hadn't been sick, the others might have been front and centre. They might have been up there.
Well, absolutely. I would imagine they would have been. Yes,
they probably would have been there because they would have thought the brothers would have been next to each other.
The brothers, yeah, absolutely. Their brothers would have been together. So
yeah.
But you'd still think in that time, well.
But they were desperate by then because they tried a few times and they were like, we don't have any more time. This is going to get out. They will know about it. Yeah.
Well, it didn't turn out so well for them, did it?
No, but lots of dangling from ropes.
Lots of dangling from ropes.
From windows. Yes. And they were left to dangle there and the crowds would look at them each day.
Look, dangling.
There's a I don't know, it seems to be a bit of an urban myth, but a myth. Because it was used in the film Hannibal.
Hannibal, yes, indeed.
Yes, the disembowelment.
Oh, yes, I was going to say in Hannibal they all get disemboweled.
I did not see that in the history books that I read. So
I would imagine it is probably a Hannibal extra.
Yes,
for the jollity of it,
but to show the disgrace.
Because he liked disemboweling people.
But yeah, but he mentions that as a history that he was disemboweled. But being hurled out of the window, yes, that's what happened by the rope and then dying and everything. But yeah, the disemboweling might have happened later. The crowds might have got up on a ladder.
I think maybe filmy.
Filmy
getting carried
away.
Filmy
thingy.
Yeah.
Yes, but yes, there you go.
Nice.
Juicy story.
Nice bit of history.
Well,
conspiracy.
Well, what do you think, people? What do you think of the Pazzi Conspiracy? Lots of juicy detail in there. Lots of plots. Lots of nasty things that happened and lots of people being hanged out of windows. Do you know more details about this? Would you have done anything differently back then? How would you have orchestrated
differently
the murder plot?
Never trust a priest.
Tell us what you think. Jump on the comments of this episode. Share your thoughts, your feelings, your musings. But maybe semi-importantly, maybe mix up
I wouldn't bother.
No, don't do it. We drank it. You drank it in lightning speed, and I'm worried. Well, we're going to go dancing in a bit. It's fine.
Exactly.
Apparently so. It's fine. It's not world beating. Though maybe, well, okay, the only reason to make it is if you do have lapsang souchong, because that's a completely different flavor.
Shush.
If you do, people, That's the only reason to experiment with it. If you cannot be bothered to make any kind of syrup, or you're just like, oh, whatever, there are better cocktails.
Yeah.
But
have some Prosecco.
have some Prosecco. Have some Prosecco. The man in the story sounded like Prosecco, so we had some Prosecco.
Logic.
Keep sending us suggestions of more stories that we can cover in the future, whether they are historic stories, really historic stories, if they're poisoning stories that we have missed, if they're murder stories, if they're plots and crimes and conspiracy.
We need some more conspiracies and sneaky shenanigans.
Yeah, we're open to sneaky shenanigans, good stories with detail in there. That's what we're looking for. Send them to us on Instagram. You can send them to us by email. Our email's in all of the information that we put out there. And keep letting us know what you're drinking and what you're doing on the social medias. Tag us in your photos. We love to see them. And please do leave us a review on Apple iTunes if you haven't already, to tell people about how wonderful this podcast is. Thanks for listening, guys. We have been the people inside the Poisoner's Cabinet. We will see you next week. And remember, your loved ones are trying to kill you.